And welcome back to pitch 4 in Huzhou City, Deqing, China, for the next group game in the under-21 men's competition in Group UR. This game between the host nation, China, People's Republic of China, and Austria. These two teams playing off in this group for the under-21s in the bottom portion of the group. UR determines that these were 4th or 5th in their previous qualifying group, and they're playing now effectively for the places from 12th onwards. Very difficult for a new nation like China to progress easily here. We have referees for this game, Chadong from Singapore and Andy Fioros from New Zealand. They'll be looking after this game for us, and we will just very, very quickly name check the Chinese team. In the black caps, red buoyancy evades and white helmets on our left, we have number 1 Ling, number 4 Chien, number 3 Su, number 4 Fong, number 5 He, number 6 Zhao, number 7 Zhang, number 8 Xu, number 9 Zhang, and number 10 Zhong. And in the red caps, red buoyancy vests and white helmets, the Austrian under-21s team, number 1 Becker, number 2 Lettner, number 4 the captain Kohler and Kronheim, number 6 Haas, number 7 Kugler, number 8 Frass. And that first start that crashes my vocals, my bad, running late, but is won by Austria. Becker for them, winning the first sprint, bringing the ball away, recycling it. So, as I say, men's group R, early stages of this group, but missing out on the route through to the final. So, playing off for a world ranking. We can obviously, People's Republic of China in their first competition, so they currently have no ranking in the ICF system, but the under-21s from Austria are world rank 20, so Austria will be seeking to improve their ranking, and China obviously will qualify for a ranking for the first time, and all welcome to them. But Austria clearly determined to press this Chinese team from the start. All play to them. China looking good here. Managed to receive that through, but the pass not quite controlled. Falls in the end to Becker. Looking confident on the ball. Draws a tackle, but does get the pass away to Frass. And the next phase of attack to the Austrian side. Obviously all under-21s teams ring the changes, try and get a set team for as long as they can, but obviously the age category means that teams do have to change. As players get to the top of their game in the under-21 category, invariably they have a habit of aging out. They move on to the senior category, hopefully from their point of view. But this is China having a good phase here. And because of the Austrian press, it's a high-risk, high-reward strategy. But there you go, that is a goal. That is Su for China. Celebrates that as well he might. That's the opening goal for the People's Republic of China. They take a lead. The high-risk, high-reward strategy of Austria pressing man-to-man. Not paid for them there. The Chinese managed to break it, slip away and score. Well done to them. As debutantes at the World Championships, they've found the going hard so far, so it's good for them to take the lead. Oh, and playing well. That's a Becker comes streaming down and slams it. I'm pretty sure that was from a defensive block from her. Just flicked his paddle across and pushed it out for a corner. So Chinese defence is going to be tested here, but more importantly, the Austrian temperament. Oh, nice inside pass. That's a very tight shot by Frass, but must have been saved. I barely saw the touch. It was all so quick in there. These under-21 players, really very fast hands. So they move up to seniors. Very dangerous, I'm sure. So the Chinese defence, almost a flat 4, packed absolutely tight. Oh no, sorry, 3-1. We've got goal scorer Su right out on the front, outside the 6 himself. He backs back in to get involved in this defensive action. But really very, very tightly pressed line. The Austrians pushing the Chinese team all the way back onto the goalkeeper. They have to be careful not to commit a foul there, but they didn't. Frask scores the goal, just forces it in really, drove the whole line backwards, and then shot and scored. No change in tactic by the looks of things for Austria. They're out. Man-for-man marking right from the off. Tied at 1, and they've allowed China to have a shot there, but that shot by Chien was just wild. Don't think that'll suit them. If those open goals present, they have to just get it close enough to be a guaranteed shot. Still, nonetheless, tied at 1. 3 minutes gone. First game for both teams in this group, so crucial to set out their fortunes. Sorry, not the first game at all. Japan lead this group. Taipei, Austria and China in this group, and Taipei and Austria drew. So Japan likely to clear out of the top of this group, but the other place is very much up for grabs. Now, that explains everything. The draw they've had with Taipei means that the Austrian team are chasing some goal difference here. That explains really this tactic, very clear. Now I've got my mind on top of it. The Japanese going to top the group, but the second place up for grabs between Taipei and Austria, so it's going to be all about the goal difference, I'm afraid. But so far, that's the second goal for Austria, and this time it's coming from Gronheim. China here had the early lead, but they've ceded that. And the People's Republic of China moving forwards under pressure. The reason for this pressure quite obvious now. Pump the ball forwards, but the high risk, high reward strategy has cost Austria a goal already. And China certainly looking to make sure that's not the last, but that was a bit unlucky there from Zhao. Couldn't get his hand on the ball, and it's been stolen away, but that's loose. Austria are going to have to be more precise if they want to run up some goal difference. It does finally arrive with Lettner, and he finishes it, obviously. But 3-1 lead. They need to be precise if they really want to rack up some goal difference. I think in the first portion of this game, Austria just taking the Chinese for granted and paying the penalty. It is one of the drawbacks to a draw in these mid-groups. Means the teams have to chase goal difference once you've had a draw, especially until you know what the outcome of the group is likely to be, and that's another block and pick up. Curler, the captain, manages to secure it for his team. They're looking forwards, but they really, I don't know, I'm not sure what total they think they're chasing. Obviously a virtual one at the moment until Taipei play China. Chinese defence set now. Fong on the front of the 3-1. Big flat line, but they've let Austria get close, but that's a fine save. But unfortunately, the luck not with China, and it falls to an Austrian hand, but they're firefighting this brilliantly. At the moment, that's all they can do. It's shot after shot, but they've weathered it. Well played, China. And very wisely, Becker decides to recirculate it. They were throwing up shot after shot there for no reward. Little bit of movement's helping them a lot. Becker takes a good chance, but that's beautifully saved by Chien. He's going to be called upon to do a lot of business here. That's a nice save. Becker really had plenty of time and space there. Lovely run he made, but finish just saved by the goalkeeper. Yeah, Austria dominating this in terms of passage, but truthfully, Chinese goalkeeper and defence is doing its job. 3:30 on the first half. Still plugging away Austria, and this time it pays. Can't weather all of these shots. That Lettner that time gets the goal that opens the lead a little bit more. But it took them a few minutes there. That will be not what they or their coach is hoping for. They'll be hoping to just keep this scoreboard ticking over quite quickly. But China team got other ideas. A lot of national pride. I think any host nation that gets a place on that basis that is here first to a championship, you know you're going to have to learn some harsh lessons. You have to pay a tariff really almost to get the experience so your players can take that experience home with them. These under-21 men will be here in the future at championships, I have no doubt, maybe in Duisburg in 2 years' time or Denmark in 4. Stronger, better, cleverer players for the experience they gain here. But it must be harsh for them, but they're doing very, very well in this first half. Austria being restricted to 4 goals, and China having scored. That was a great cause for celebration. And again, they're coming a wave. The pass inside, that's Becker again. He's their go-to man, and you can see why. When he's got the time and space, he's a finisher. That's no doubt about that on any level. But here, once he's got it, he's not missing that target, slams it in. So 2.5 to go. Austria ringing the sub change. He's trying to keep everybody fresh so they can keep this pressure piled on the Chinese opponent. They bring on Su. Dribbling forwards, they're looking for an obstruction call, not getting it. Then this falls the way of Austria. That was forward into the hands of the Chinese. That's a good releasing ball. Is there someone there to... There is, that's well played, China. Fong brings it up, can't clear his pass, unlucky, there were chances there. But Fong working so hard against Lettner. But Lettner just gets his boat in the way and dominates it. Forward the ball goes. This is going to be Becker. Will he pass it across to Fraas? Yes, he decides it's the best option. Fraas there, that's saved. That was saved, I promise you. That was actually pulled out of the air and down. Chien working hard, working well, celebrating every save as well he might. Very isolated there, but he kept that goal from being scored. Coming down towards the last minute, Austria to build their next attack. Yeah, the wave comes, and again, they're just working it for Becker really, because he is very reliable. But that, I don't think, got as far as the keeper. I think that was her, pulled that down. So the Chinese blooding many of their players, getting them a first outing. Feel of the World Championships, get to play against one of these European sides. Austria, been to several championships over the years, but not consistent attenders, I hope they won't mind me saying. And building the drive, Becker forwards. Is it his, or is he going to lay this off? Lays it off, going round to the other side. That's a huge hit. Again, this is magnificent defensive work, all a bit frenetic, all very firefighty, but at the end of the day, if the ball doesn't go in the net, that's not a goal. That is all that really matters at the moment. We come into the last 15 seconds. Bound to be one more Austrian attack. And there it is, and once again, Jiang comes to their rescue. That doesn't get up in the air. And we go into half-time with Austria leading People's Republic of China by 5-1. Story of that half, the early goal. High risk, high reward press from the Austrians. Broken in the first minute or two by the People's Republic of China, and they scored the opener. They rocked the Austrians for a few moments, but they've got back into their stride, continued with the press, kept the pressure on the Chinese the whole way through, and in the end it's 5-1. It won't be the total that they were chasing, I don't think, Austria. They need to put a decent score on the board, having drawn with Chinese Taipei yesterday. But they're where they're at. Both these teams fighting for everything they can get. We'll name check the teams for you during the halftime break, but if we just take this quick opportunity to thank our main sponsors, the International Canoe Federation, China Canoe Association, Huzhou City and Deqing County, administrative regions, and obviously our governing body who make these championships possible. Huge amounts of admin and organisation going into these events prior to us all getting here to enjoy the games, and they are supported by Yupin Sport, global sponsor for Canoe Polo, Guokong Group, The Tour Sport and Kailas Clothing. All their support gratefully received. And I might just take this opportunity to thank the ICF's Global sponsors: BYD Auto, Braca Sports, Alibaba Cloud, Dan Sprint, Ironmaster, K-Ford, Playtex, Osa Dry Pack, Nello Kayaks, Huan Boats, Peisheng Boats, and Kailas Clothing Group again. So these people make our sport on a global level possible, and for that we are of course very grateful, as we are grateful to the huge array of Chinese volunteers who make it, the timekeeping table, the linesmen, the hosting committees and so on. Absolutely amazingly well we've been looked after here. And we have, entering the second half of this game, to our left the Austrian men's team, number 1 Becker, number 2 Lettner, number 4 the captain Carey, number 5 Kronheim, number 6 Haas, number 7 Kohler, number 8 Fraas, and for the Chinese under 21 men, number 1 Ling, number 2 Jian, number 3 Su, number 4 Fong, number 5 He, number 6 Zhao, number 7 Zhang, number 8 Xu, number 8 Zhang, and number 10 Zhong. So we will have, of that large Chinese roster, 8 of those 10 will be playing in this game. The others rested or late selection choices made by the coaches. As I've said before, they don't have to disclose those selections to us, so we just have the full roster. We aim to take the players as we can as they play. So good luck to them all. Those supporting players who are not on the water on this pitch play their part, I can assure you, in the championship, whether it's in preparation or playing some games. And as the referee Chadong gets ready to start the second half, we are ready. For some mysterious reason, we're only showing 9 minutes on the game clock. That's bumped up to 10. Good. And we will be ready. I'm very sure that Austria will continue this high press. They will press man for man the whole way, try and extend their goal difference, and the mission of the Chinese team will be to contain that, perhaps get another goal themselves, and we're away. That's a put in, and that is Zhang for China, gets there first and gets the ball, beats Becker, brings it away, and that's Chinese ball. Kayak tackle foul, and that's the first deliberate foul warning for the the Austrians. Clearly indicated by the referee, but not clearly seen by the commentator. I'm pretty sure it was Fraas. May have been Fraas or Kogler who got that deliberate foul warning. The difference between 7 and 8, difficult for me to spot on the far side. I'm sure the referee's made a mental note of it. Any player receiving a first deliberate foul warning has to tread carefully, because another foul judged to be deliberate by the referee was on a green card and a sending off for a power play 2 minutes. But so far, first minute of the second half, the door has been shut on the Austrians. Obviously China now fully aware of what this Austrian tactic is going to be. I don't think there's any secret. We can all see it. They're going to press. China's going to defend 3-1. We're going to have a second half that looks pretty much like the first. And this is magnificent, really. Just solid defender, goalkeeper. They don't care who's making that block, so long as someone is. And the more they can save, the slightly more the frustration will keep into the Austrian hearts. And suddenly it just gets harder and harder to score. Everyone who's played canoe polo will have been there at some point. Oh, that is a magnificent save. Just the faintest of touches from Chien to pop it up onto the top bar and out. Resetting things really quickly on the shot clock front. But this is some good work, because these Austrian shots have been good and they're certainly getting close. There's no question about that. I can't fault them for that, but plenty of power on them. But so far, Chien's has had a magnificent second half. I know I don't want to curse the man. He's had 2 minutes of this and he's going to have another 8, I think. He's going to have to be careful. Is this going to be picked up? Yes, it is. First proper possession but for China, but that's Fong got out for that. In the end, that fell. Austria are out. Can China make this pay? Mustn't rush. Zhang with the ball, but he's struggling to find a pass. He's looking hard. He's finally found it. This is Chien getting involved out on the pitch. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going to struggle with that. He's laid the... Oh, that's a nice piece of skill. That was just paddled off to him by Zhang, and anything else, and I think that would have been another Austrian goal. They're playing very well here. They're going to come under shot clock pressure, the Chinese, but they're actually weathering this brilliantly. And that's a good pump forwards, if only he can control it. That's Su on the ball for China. Can't, unfortunately, and he has his pocket picked. Kogler gets it back, but that killed off a huge amount of time. It's pumped up the pitch to Curler, but he really was quite isolated. But in the end, he's joined by Lettner, who actually can't finish. I'm pretty sure, yep, that went straight out for a goal line throw off the outside of the bar. And this is a huge piece of time being used up by the Chinese, and they are playing very, very well for it. This is a great game for us, but this is also a great game for the Chinese. The experience they're getting here cannot be underestimated. They're actually stood toe-to-toe now with the Austrians, playing a press game, controlling the ball and moving around the pitch. They've had their chances to break, not quite made them stick, but they are holding this up and killing a huge amount of clock. The only team this doesn't suit is Austria. They want the ball and they want goals. That's what they're pushing for. And that's a shot. I think the Chinese crowd thought that might be in, that chance from her, but it wasn't. Into the side netting. And now a massive pumping pass up the pitch. Yeah, unfair enough. The Chinese not getting back quickly enough, and in the end Haas has enough time to finish it. But that is 4 minutes gone. And some great play from the People's Republic of China, really. They were eventually broken down, and that one long pass tore them open before they can get back to their defensive positions. But now they have to stay fresh. They have to keep focused. Any mistake will be punished by the Austrians, but now we bring Zhang into play, but immediately struggling to get up to game speed. It's so difficult when the intensity, players who are in but getting tired, they've got used to it. This will go over his head, surely. Yeah, of course it does. No, and that's a miss. That overhead pass to Haas should have resulted in another goal, but he was in danger of bumping the goalie, and I think that's what distracted him. Missed the target. And China come again. They have to support their player. They're going to learn the lesson the hard way otherwise. They've done so well here. As I say, the experience they're gaining here, you just cannot undervalue. This is a tough game for anyone at any level, and having to put this on at home at World Championship for them is a big test. They've done so well. Oh, I feel sorry there for Young, obviously second string goalkeeper to Chien, who's had a great game, just couldn't step up for that. Referees will make sure that China take the restart throw from an appropriate position, and there they do. Austria obviously ready to swarm through. Shouldn't really invite that pressure like that, because that pass weak just puts you back on the back foot. Haas flicks it out the back of his hand now. This is good pressure. That's good pressure, well defended. They have been pretty much impenetrable, the Chinese, when they're there. Been caught on the fly, and obviously in the end the big Austrian shots have scored them some goals, but so much firefighting in defence for the Chinese. Been brilliant. So Austria rebuild, rebrand. Haas, he's looking for the pass across, but that's into water. Curler. Becker, is this a bit of frustration creeping into the Austrian game? I think it is. They were hoping they'd be running away with this by now. Much as they've got a comfy lead, the result of this game not in doubt. They're certainly not having it all their own way. You need to pass so badly. Don't make it easy for the Austrians. Looking upfield, can't really see anything. Oh, and that's a bit of good fortune for the Chinese. Off the paddle to them, but I think there's also been an obstruction call upfield. There has. Where is that going to be taken? That is on the right upon the attack. There's an obstruction call in favour of the Chinese. This is going to put them in an attacking position. And there's a huge tranche of clock just ticking away while this is going on. That will suit the Chinese. I'm sure it's not their deliberate plan to waste time here, but that is the effect of this foul that's been committed by Austria. They've got a free shot sort of inside the 6, but they're moving the ball around, and I think this is quite clever. The Chinese here can lose an awful lot of time, and that was just top draw. That is the goalkeeper who's kept them in this game, kept everything alive, and Qian decides it's time to score one. You've got to take your hat off to the man. That is phenomenal. 7-2, Austria lead, People's Republic of China, and again they take the restart throw from the wrong position. Referee calls them back. Frustration now, the dominant feeling by the looks of things from the Austrians. The Chinese have really, I have to say this without sounding rude, but they have learnt something here. They can play toe-to-toe with one of these European teams. That is superb finish, obviously, from Becker. He's their go-to man. If anyone's going to pull this round, it will be him. He paddles back, but he can't do it on his own. China with possession again. Fantastic from them. 2.5 minutes to go. 8-6. It's not a result they'll have dreamt of when they were preparing for this, but really they've done well here. In patches they've been impenetrable. They've scored 2 goals. They've been out there, and in sections they've really frustrated the Austrians. They mustn't let this go now. And somehow they've managed to get back and firefight this defence. Great for us. Absolutely superb. I'm afraid Lettner's grabbing for the ball, going to be called by the referee all day long, and a green card. Lettner goes off, shaking his head, but I'm not sure who he's more frustrated with, himself or the referees. And as he goes off, there's a timeout. So now with 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock, either Lettner stays off for virtually the rest of the game, or the People's Republic of China score another goal. I wouldn't like to guess which they would prefer. For me, I quite like the idea that they're going to get another one. I know they're going to try, that is for sure. Learned one thing about these Chinese teams here: they will not give up. They've had their backs against the wall in virtually every game, but they keep fighting, they keep going. And I think the coaching they've received to tell them they're going to have to learn a lesson here in every game and take that lesson forwards, they have taken that on board perfectly. Oh, another snapshot from Qian, but this time doesn't get it. But of course Austria are not really in a position to chase out quite so easily. Now they're down a man, but they mustn't take it for granted. China here, they will come under pressure, but into the last minute of the game, or last 120 of the game, putting up a shot and recovering it. That will get the reset. Not quite shot clock on the game clock, but it will be in a moment. They're punting shots up. I think China have realised that the Austrians are reluctant to break with only 4, but they will try, and I think this could be dangerous. Oh, and suddenly the rub of the green is going China's way. This time it's Zhang brings the ball forwards, but he really mustn't invite pressure from Becker. Becker being Austria's best player in this, and if you invite pressure from him, you are in a bit of trouble, but survives it. So Zhang goes and takes a sub, don't blame him. And as the shot clock and the game clock tick to 30 seconds, China on the ball. Austria chase out. Let's look, rolling the dice for one more. I think China really will. Oh, unlucky. I think that was an accidental tap with the paddle just while he was trying to protect the ball there. Qian, he's had such a great game, but 13 seconds is time for Austria to get a shot away, and obviously Qian is up the far end of the pitch. He's not in his goal. They really need to get some pressure on here because goalkeeping duties have fallen to Su, and he's certainly not their first keeper. And in that defensive melee, I'm sorry, but oh, it's time. That's right on time. China thinking that the time had already gone. The referee's deciding differently. I think referee Ong is just checking. Referee Firos seems determined that there was enough time. Referee Ong checking with the table, and she concurs. There is 1 second. That's, well, let's see what happens. We have, of course, got the Qian, the #1 goalkeeper, back in, and the free and the penalty going to be taken by Köhler. But this will be the last action of the game. There's no question about that. Everybody's ready. And that's the final goal. And so Austria beat the People's Republic of China by 9 goals to 2. Quite superb second half from China, really frustrating the Austrians beautifully. That penalty at the end, but for